You might know him from Turkey and the Wolf and a few other restaurants he has and a great book. But today we're going to be cooking. What are we cooking today, Mason?
I'm also going to be signing the book later if you want that.
Oh, where about, Mason?
At the book signing area. Do you know where that is?
No.
It's over there. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to be making a bologna sandwich for you guys today, which is the cover of the cookbook, which is really exciting. But before that, I'm going to teach you all a very important lesson that I learned earlier in my life, and that is how to shotgun a beer. Let's do it. So I'm going to do that, and I would like any of you, if you want to, a little crowd participation, if you would like to try to shotgun a beer, I have all these beers up here.
Oh, my God. For the record, I probably shotgunned 2 beers in my entire life.
Let's get a round of applause for our brave friends. Thank you for joining me up here on stage. There we go, boys. There we go.
Oh, this guy jumped right into it. Not his first rodeo.
I realize...
No demo needed for these boys, huh, Mason?
So there's a bunch of people who volunteered to come up here, and I assume they have done this. But for those of you who haven't, here's a perfect example of what we're going to be going over. There is a proper way to cut the hole in the bottom of a beer for a shotgun where it does not get on you. And that's what I'm going to show you. So,
if you didn't jump the gun and waited for Mason, you boys would have learned something today.
The voice of reason up here. So when you shotgun a beer, you realize there's a little bit of air at the top of your beer. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be puncturing the bottom of your beer, and eventually you're going to flip it upside down, and you're going to open it, and you're going to drink it through that hole. So the first step is to poke a hole in the beer. A lot of people get pretty excited, and they go, and they poke it, and then they spray themselves in the face. And this is not what we want to do. A really good beer shotgunner will drink the beer and have very little on the ground and very little on themselves. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do that. I'm not saying I'm a good shotgunner, but I do know how to poke the hole. So if you hold it like this, and then the air bubble is at this top corner, you can do the thing without any of the beer spraying on your face. So yeah, thank you. I'll take a bow. And then you make a hole. Everybody likes a different size. And then the rest of you guys know what to do, but we're going to crack the top, and we're going to drink it out of the bottom.
Oh, you made a big old hole there.
I like a big old hole for my shotgun, yeah. Cheers, my friends. I love you. Thank you for joining me.
Shit, should I be doing this? Oh, Mason, finished first, Mason. All right, but I don't know if it was a competition, but you did a great job.
All right.
Round of applause for the boys, I guess.
All right, so...
I'm gonna drink my beer like a normal person. Yeah, Mason, pick a lucky chugger there.
Who's shotgun the best? This guy? He's got the most fans.
He had a nice knife too. I'd give it to him.
We got this YETI bag. You got it, my man. Thank you.
Hey, you got robbed.
Everybody else got robbed. He was like honestly like third at best, but it's fine. Okay.
All right, Mason, back on the rails, babe. What are we cooking again? Bologna sandwich.
We're going to make a bologna sandwich, my friends.
Help me help you.
Help you help me.
That's right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have our bologna sandwich, which is the bread we make at Turkey and the Wolf. It's got 5 or 6 components. We've got thick
This
cut,
here?
That's the one. Thick cut white bread that we're going to toast. We've got our bologna that's like sort of proprietary to our restaurant. And I'm going to show you how to make mustard. So the first thing we got to do is we're going to make our mustard. And the cool thing about this mustard is that it comes together in about 15 minutes. And a lot of times when you make mustard, it could take a couple days. You could ferment some mustard seeds, you grind them up, you do all this stuff. Or you do the simple task of mixing together a mustard powder and a water, which is a very specific type of mustard. This one's got heat. You get to make it yourself. It's also got sweetness, but it's not as sweet as honey mustard. And it's like perhaps my favorite condiment I've ever come across with. And it was also a recipe handed down from my friend's mom. So it's, it's all in the family. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by making it in a double boiler. We're going to add mustard powder, vinegar, a couple other ingredients to a double boiler. And we're going to thicken it like a hollandaise with a little bit of egg. And some people that have never cooked with a double boiler, all it is a pot of boiling water with a mixing bowl on top. It can be a glass mixing bowl. It can be metal. It can be whatever. The water should be boiling. This one is boiling, or maybe it's not. You'll never know. You put it on there. We're going to add our ingredients, and we're going to whisk them up. So the ingredients are going to be, for this, 4 ounces of mustard powder. I use Coleman's, and I've noticed that it's the best one for the job for this particular mustard. So this one is sort of brand specific. So we're going to take the mustard powder. I've got 4 eggs. Those are going to go in there. We've got sugar, and we're going to pretend like I have salt, because I put a pinch of salt in there, but I didn't bring salt. And some vinegar. Okay. So going in, we got 1 cup of vinegar into the bowl. This is 2 cups, so it's going to be half the bottle. We got our eggs. It's actually 3 eggs, not 4. Sorry about that. A cup of sugar. The sugar's fine. You'll be fine. And then 4 ounces. These are 2 ounces each of Coleman's mustard powder.
And is that just straight ground mustard seed, right?
That's just ground mustard seed, but they're not all the same. And this is a product. So I've made this mustard with different ground mustard seeds. And this one I find to have the most heat and the least bitterness. And that's how we came up with it. We've been serving it at the restaurant for over 8 years. And it's just, having tried other mustard powders, this is the one for the job. So once we get that in the pot, we need to stir it occasionally, but not all the time. And that mustard's going to be cooking while we make a bologna sandwich.
Why the eggs, Mason?
So the eggs, same with the double boiler. So the eggs are going to thicken the mustard as it cooks. It's going to cook slowly. It's going to caramelize slowly. And then the double boiler is a very gentle cooking technique. So the eggs are going to thicken it without ever scrambling. You're not going to have little chunks of egg if you use the double boiler. Yeah, bam! Right? Bam!
Oh, gosh.
So,
in the meantime, can I help you fry up that bologna?
Yeah, well, let's cut the bread first.
Cut the bread first.
So once we're done with the whisk, we're going to switch to this thing, and we're just going to make it not stick to the sides as we stir it around. This takes about 10, 15 minutes. Okay, the bread. The idea behind the bread is to cut it pretty thick.
Thick.
Yeah, so we're going to cut the butt off, save that for your dog or anything else. And then the thickness, we're looking like about an inch thick.
An inch.
An inch thick.
Okay.
So this is not bread for the celiac person or the person with the dietary restrictions or the person on a diet, really.
It's a thick cut.
That's a very thick cut, and it's also the correct cut. Brad did a great job. This is how thick we want it. It's very thick. And the reason we cut it this thick, well, let's butter it first, and I'll talk about that. We got this brand new YETI pan. And we're going to butter this bread before we put it in the pan. And we're going to do that for a couple reasons. If you butter your bread before you put it in the pan, it's going to caramelize in the pan, so it's going to get a really nice sort of like caramelized dairy outer brown butter flavor. It's also going to make the bread more crispy. It's going to brown better. And then also, if you were to butter it after, that's something you do with toast. I'm all about putting butter on toast, that's fine. But if it's bread for a sandwich, I want all that stuff on the bread. I don't know what I was saying. Whatever.
Some about butter and bread and putting it in the cast iron.
You butter the bread.
Chef.
So the other thing I recommend you always have at your house is room temperature butter. This looks like mayonnaise. It's not. I know I like mayonnaise. Whatever.
You salted guy? Salted butter.
No, this is unsalted butter.
All right.
So we're putting a shit ton of it on there. Blue plate. Yeah, blue plate's cool. I'm not against blue plate. I mean, I have a Duke's mayonnaise tattoo right here. I didn't have to bring it in my purse, but
I mean, I'm a Hellman's guy, but
no, I appreciate you. This guy likes Hellman's. Everybody's fine as long as we say
everybody's fine as long as you're not hurting anybody.
As long as it's not a Miracle Whip. So we're buttering this bread edge to edge, corner to corner, and trying to get one really thin layer.
Yeah, you're going heavy with the butter, Bob.
Whoa, chill. All right, so we got this butter going on, and what's going to happen is it's going to get toasty and crispy on the outside, but we cut it thick so that we can have it still be a little bit soft and chewy on the inside. So we want two textures to our bread so that it has the structural integrity you need to have ingredients on top of it, but still has some squishiness. So the squishiness in the middle, it's crispy on the outside.
Gotta have structural integrity.
And other types of integrity. So
you fry your bread first, and then what? Follow up with the
bologna? Yeah, we're frying
bologna?
the bread, and then we're going to put the bologna in the pan. Our mustard is cooking. I would like to take this 3 minutes of time we have open while things cooking and open up for questions. Good ones, funny ones,
no bad ones.
Why so thick? As I recently mentioned, I would say Yeah, so we want it to be crispy on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. And when you bite into it, which you guys don't get to do, you'll know why. Because it's awesome.
Personal preference. Slice it thin if you want, you know?
Yeah. That's a question between you and Brad. I think you are very...
He was paying attention when he told me not to do this?
No,
I think it's a good idea. I've never made this sauce before, but everything about my intuition says what I'm doing is right.
All right. So to answer your question truly, yes, a whisk works great, but the spatula also works good enough. And with the spatula, we're able to scrape the outside of the bowl so that any stuff that's like starting to get too thick can be reincorporated in. You can also do it with the whisk. You can do both. Honestly, ideally, it's both, but in the cookbook, we decided there shouldn't be too many implements or whatever.
It's the mustard powder, man. Answer your question, it's the mustard powder. It lumps up on you, and the spatula's kind of hard to break it up.
Yeah. What you got?
What's your like, best bite? I'm craving something in New Orleans.
Best bite, I'm craving something in New Orleans.
Chef, how are we looking here?
It's burnt.
Flip it. It's not burnt. It's perfect.
It's perfect. We flip it over. We're almost to the bologna part of the thing. Best bite in New Orleans, I have a few. McCarty's fried chicken is my favorite fried chicken. But if I'm going to eat another style of fried chicken, I'm going to get fish sauce wings from Ton Din, a Vietnamese restaurant on the West Bank in New Orleans.
Like that.
Other best bites, the beef tartare at Pesh is one of the best dishes in the city. Turkey and the Wolf's overrated. Do not get the bologna sandwich. What else we got? Other chicken. I really like chicken. Did you have a question? Yeah, what you got? Yeah.
Why butter over mayo on bread?
So I have a really high mayo diet, and I have to constantly find out ways to cut it out.
With a half a cup of butter.
I also love mayonnaise on the bread, but I love the flavor of caramelized butter. So it's probably a flavor thing for me.
Can't beat it. Bread and butter, man.
So we've got we're toasting or whatever.
Yeah, we got one more question if they're out there.
Yeah. Come on. No? Okay. In the back. My favorite protein in the whole world is Alaska seafood. That's where she works. The waters of Alaska are pristine. The products are wild, natural, and sustainable.
Cold, nutrient-dense water of the North Pacific, hard to beat.
You know, so even the frozen products, they freeze them on the boat, and then you get them shipped right to your doorstep, and you can have fresh Alaska seafood anytime you want. Best halibut you ever had. Okay. And they sent me to Alaska last year, and I think they might be sending me this year. All right. Into the pan with the bologna. So we're going to turn the heat up just a tiny bit. We're going to go, how many pieces did he give us? 3, 4?
Question for you.
Keep them coming.
No, I have a question for you.
Oh, yes.
You were like you cut a little a cupping relief cut?
Okay. I don't.
You're not a cup relief guy.
It's a thing. Right. You guys are aware of bologna. This is an artisanal bologna. The pig that lived before this pork bologna was created lived on a farm in Mississippi. That pig had hobbies. He had a name. He had a 401k. And because of the quality of this bologna and the grind, the way it's brined, the way it's seasoned, it's a product that'll be in market soon.
Happy pigs, though.
We're gonna let it puff up a little. So what happens with bologna is it kind of like, mountains out. I don't know what you call that. Convex, concave,
puffs
something.
up,
Puffs
little
up.
air pocket.
And a lot of people will cut it. Hey, Ryan. A lot of people will cut it so that it stays flat. But on one side, as it puffs up, this stuff doesn't puff up much. So one side's going to get caramelized on the inside. As you flip it, the center will be caramelized on the outside. It's going to be perfect. You also don't need to get a perfect sear on this bologna because it has so much flavor. So, I forgot where I was at. Sorry. Yeah. Good flavor. So, yeah, Brad's got that in there on medium-high heat. We got 4 slices.
You want more color than that there, Mason?
No, I think that's fine.
That's nice, right?
But if you went further, it'd be okay. It's so forgiving.
All right, we'll do that.
No, it doesn't matter. It's great. I think you're doing great. If he wasn't here, I guess I'd have to do that. That would be really hard to talk and do that. Okay, so what I was saying, I think 4 ounces for a sandwich that has a lot of fun components on it that are working in harmony together is a great number of ounces of meat for a sandwich. I know Cat's Deli's is like 16 ounces or something.
It's delicious, but it's too much.
Yeah. I like just 4 ounces. I like balance, and I like all these other things. As you'll see when this sandwich is made, it's this big, but the bologna's only like this little skinny layer.
What else is going on in this sandwich?
There's some other things going on, that's for sure.
I see some iceberg. Big fan of the iceberg.
Yeah, so this is a recipe in my cookbook. It's called shreddis.
No photos, sir?
So the recipe is called shreddis. What you do is you start with a head of iceberg lettuce, and you cut it into small shreds. And that's the recipe. Some people like to pull out this little core heart thing by
The
cutting
stem.
it, but some people like to bang it, and then you can pull it right out. That's like a fun one. Like, whoa! So that's how we did it.
And you're a shredded guy.
For this sandwich, I'm a shredded guy. On my cheeseburger, I like a little leaf cup.
Okay.
You know, but this is not the knife for the job, but we're gonna use it anyways, and we're gonna make shreddis. And when I opened Turkey and the Wolf 8 years ago, I had a list of things to remember going into my first restaurant ever. I staged at different restaurants, which means to work for free in exchange for knowledge and travel. And I staged around. I kept taking notes for years of all the ways that I could make my restaurant great. And then one day, I had been smoking a little marijuana, and I was sitting on my couch, and I said, the light bulb moment came on, and I said, shreddis. And I knew it had to be a really cornerstone element of our restaurant. And we have it here on our bologna sandwich. So this is the shreddis.
Are you claiming you're the first person to say it's shreddis?
Wow, it's traveled so far that he thinks it's a thing. And yes, I invented it. All right.
Bologna's all done there, bud.
Okay, we're going to leave it in the pan. Sorry, I forgot. We got American cheese. I didn't pull. Will, where's the American cheese, bro? It's under. Well, you know, one thing we do at the restaurant that Will runs is we temper our American cheese, but not today. It melts a lot faster. No, just kidding.
You're a big American cheese guy.
Yeah, I like all cheeses. For this sandwich, it's American cheese. Are we over time? What time is it?
Probably.
We're just going to melt the cheese on top.
You're melting it, huh?
Yeah. We're melting
Oh, that's a little inappropriate.
No, it's good. It's good.
Oh, right on the bologna.
Yeah, just melt it on the bologna. I want to make a little thing.
You're a wild man, Mason.
I'm so wild. 2 slices of American cheese for this sandwich. It's just so cold. I don't even know if this is even possible, Will.
So
those are gonna go on there. I like to separate them and make a diamond. That's really important.
Here, we got a little trick. We'll throw a little water on it, bud.
So what Brad's going to do is he's going to steam the bologna. He's going to spray some water in the pan. He's going to cover it up. The steam's going to make the cheese melt about 5 times faster and save Will's butt.
Yeah, a little trick.
And
for
once that's
steaming,
melted, we can build the sandwich. And I promise there's another person after me. They're going to do great.
No, this is wonderful, Mason. And you know what? I'm
Thanks.
excited. I'm excited that you're using shredded lettuce.
Shreddis.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. But I'm excited that you're using shredded lettuce. And, I don't know. Personally, I probably would have gone a little thinner, but I kind of like where your head's at with this.
I want you to try the sandwich.
It makes sense.
Brad might be the only one who gets to try it. But I made 40 extra portions, and I'm going to find somebody out there that has a griddle, and they're going to be available. So find me later. I'll be drunk, and I'll be having sandwich.
And you're putting potato chips on this bad boy.
Yeah, so we brought our own potato chips from New Orleans. Will did pack them perfectly. I don't want to make him. One snafu is par for the course. He's doing really, really well.
Let's give a round of applause for Will. All right, everybody.
Will, can we get you to stand up?
Underrated.
Can we get you to stand up?
Underrated guy right there.
So we make our potato chips. One thing that we do is we soak them in white vinegar overnight. A lot of it cooks out, but it's about, imagine a salt and vinegar chip, but only 5 or 10% of salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar chips are very strong and intense. If you soak your potatoes in white vinegar before you fry them, you'll have a little bit of that vinegariness, but not that really intense salt and vinegar flavor. So it adds a little something to our sandwich.
Just a little kiss there, bud?
Just a little kiss of the vinegar.
I think we're all melted up, ready to go.
Thank you, sir. Honestly, without you, I'd be totally screwed.
You'd be
Okay.
just fine.
All right. I brought the butter. I meant to bring the mayonnaise.
Look at that. That'll work, right? Hot.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right. So, as we were, the components of this sandwich. So, the mustard I mentioned was from my friend's mom, Tay, Via's mom. The mayonnaise is Duke's, which is like my favorite thing ever. The bologna is from my dear friend Leanne. The bread is baked by a local baker in New Orleans who's a dear friend of ours. And then the idea of putting chips on the sandwich was something a lot of kids did, but I got it from my mom. And the thing about this sandwich that makes me really happy every time I make it and every time I eat it is how we've pulled it from 5 different directions, and it's created something that's more special to me than just a sandwich. But then I ate it, and I'm like, oh, it tastes really good. It's great. So
that's great, man. I love the little nostalgia in food, you know?
Yeah, or like the story that, there's very few dishes out there that don't tell some sort of story. And the fun one about this one is if you really wanted to hear me talk for a long time, it could tell 5 stories.
I believe it.
All right. So, mayonnaise. The thing about mayonnaise, it looks like a lot. It's not. It's a thin layer. Like, you can't even see it, guys. All right.
Can't even see it.
But the thing when you're swiping things on and you have to do like 100 a day, you're not going to go like this and like, you're actually putting too much on and you're swiping it off. And then you're pulling it off. And that's how I like to get the very corner to corner, whatever thing.
You need like a spackle knife.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it is a bit of a spackle move. For the mustard, we're going to do a very comparable amount, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab too much. That one's, I don't even know where that one went. I brought some from the restaurant. So I'm going to put so much on there so I can just get it done in like one motion, and then I'm just going to pull the rest off.
I love the texture of that mustard. I don't think I've ever seen egg in mustard either.
It's really, I am just so obsessed with this recipe, but this mustard recipe. Also, working on coming to market, I got to find ways to make money outside of restaurants. So hopefully we sell the mustard too. Normally you'd have a spatula, but we don't. So I'm just going to sort of, oh yeah, lettuce. This is really hot. All right, so a big handful of shredders. You got 4 slices of bologna American cheese. And then we got our potato chips.
Oh, gosh.
With a slight vinegar brine. They go right on top. Little pile. And then we've got our mustard lathered top tight sliced toast, whatever. And then we have this mountain. And then by far, the best part of this sandwich, if you're going to make it for yourself, is the smash, where you push it down, you eat it. And Brad, I'm going to let you do it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was great, huh? Really
there you go.
That.
Cut it in half, corner halves, anything.
Corner?
Like
what do you got? Your corner person?
I think at the restaurant it's really funny if they ask for thirds. We'll make 1/3 like really, really small. All
right.
Because it's weird to ask for it. Get in there, buddy.
Okay, I'll do it.
I know what it tastes like.
I bet you do. Well, I mean, that looks pretty good, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad eating it in front of you guys here. But why don't we chop one half up and we'll give it away to like 4 people or something? Yeah.
We're going to figure out a way to get more made for you guys.
Probably not.
No, I brought all this stuff. We're going to do it.
Look, cut a couple nibbles. We'll have like 4 people. Really unfair.
This is messed up. How far over are we? We should get off the stage.
Don't worry about the time. And if you guys want any recipes from the demos today, including this lovely sandwich from Mason,
where's the beer?
You can check out SouthernSmokeFoundation.com. Their newsletter, sign up. They'll ship them right to you on the old interwebs here. And I'm not going to eat this in front of you guys. I feel bad about it.
But why don't we I'll get my portion now.
I'll try one. And you come on right down. You're definitely getting one. Her bites are all ready for sure. We'll let her give you the first tester.
Brad's taking over.
Yeah, here we go. There you go. That's not too hot. Oh, you're doing another one, Bobby.
Yeah. Is there any questions? No? The name of the bologna is Leanne's Bologna, but the bologna company is called Bologna and the Wolf. And we're working on getting in available to people to buy online sooner than later. Hopefully it'll be in a grocery store one day. But I'd say look for it in the next month or 2. It's Bologna and the Wolf on Instagram, and Turkey and the Wolf will also be posting about it. Yeah.
Delicious bite, too, Mason.
Thank you. What's your favorite hash brown? Ooh, I like, for lack of a better way to describe it, like a McDonald's-style hash brown, like the puck. Yeah. But I also scattered, covered, chunked, peppered at Waffle House, is also up there. Oh man, the question is how do we get the name of the restaurant Turkey and the Wolf? It is much more of a long story than it is an interesting story. But I'll say, the woman I was dating, she was the wolf and I was the turkey. But her name was Lauren. I got her name tattooed on my butt. And
I have a tattoo on my butt as well of a woman's name.
So the weird thing about Lauren is her and I broke up and we had to move on from each other.
I liked you.
And I married a very, very beautiful woman that I love very dearly named Lauren. And
Give it up for love. All right.
And now the tattoo on my ass says New Lauren. And that's a fact.
I don't think there's a better way to end it, but give it up for Mason and his bologna sandwich and his wonderful chugging of beer abilities. And thanks for hanging, guys.